You were dying inside a prison of what will they say? Just like Kiki, she was beautiful, brilliant, and absolutely invisible by choice. She was terrified of a crowd that wasn't even looking at her. If you've ever kept your hand down when you knew the answer, or stayed silent when you wanted to scream, you need to hear what her grandmother taught her in the Golden Fields. Once upon a time, in a world that never stopped talking, there lived a young woman named Kiki. Kiki was beautiful, with skin like rich mahogany and a mind as bright as the morning sun. But Amani was a prisoner. She lived in a constant shadow of fear, not of monsters, but of opinions. Every morning, she stood before her mirror, her heart heavy with exhaustion. She didn't dress for herself, she dressed for the ghosts in her mind. In her classroom, she knew every answer, yet her hand stayed frozen at her side. Her thoughts were a constant whisper. What if they laugh? What will they say? How'd I look at them? Because of these thoughts, Kiki felt empty. She was living for everyone else's approval, but she had forgotten how to live for herself. One day, feeling she could no longer carry the weight of these invisible eyes, she decided to visit her grandmother. Her grandmother lived on a quiet farm, far from the noise of the city. People said Joyce had a peace that no storm could shake. After a long journey, Kiki reached the farmhouse. She found her grandmother sitting on the porch, peacefully shelling peas. The air was still, and the only sound was the rhythmic thud of peas hitting a metal bowl. Kiki walked up to her, tears welling in her eyes. "Grandmother," she whispered, "I am tired. I feel like I am constantly on a stage, and the whole world is judging my performance. I want to be free. Can you help me?" Grandmother looked at Kiki with eyes that had seen many winters but remained warm like a summer fire. She didn't offer words of comfort right away. Instead, she stood up and said, "Come with me to the field. I have something to show you." They walked to a wide, golden field where the grass danced in the wind. Grandmother picked up a heavy clay pot and filled it with water from a nearby well. She filled it so high that the water curved over the rim, held only by a miracle of balance. "Kiki," grandmother said, "I want you to carry this pot to the old oak tree at the end of the field. But there is a condition. As you walk, you must look at the workers in the distance. Tell me what they are doing. Watch the birds. Look at me. Observe everything around you and tell me what you see." Kiki took the pot, her hands trembling. She began to walk. Every time she heard a bird chirp, she looked up. Every time a worker shouted in the distance, she turned her head, wondering if they were shouting at her. She was so busy trying to observe and report on the world around her that she didn't notice the uneven ground beneath her feet. Suddenly, she saw a group of hikers laughing nearby. "Are they laughing at my hair?" she wondered. She turned her head sharply to see. In that split second, the pot tilted. A great splash of water poured out, soaking the dry earth and her shoes. Kiki stopped, looking at the half-empty pot in her hands. She walked back to her grandmother, her head bowed in shame. "I failed, grandmother. I was so busy looking at them, trying to see what they were doing and what they thought of me, that I forgot the water. I spilled it all." Grandmother smiled gently and touched Kiki's cheek. "That, my child, is the secret you came to find. Your soul is like this pot, and your peace is the water. When you fill your mind with the business of others, their whispers, their judgments, their lives, you leave no space for your own balance. If you spend your life watching the audience, you will always stumble on your own path." The water didn't spill because the hikers laughed, it spilled because you stopped looking at your own journey to see if they were watching. Kiki stood still as the truth washed over her. She realized that the ghosts only had power because she gave them her attention. She took a deep breath of the fresh country air. For the first time, she didn't care if her hair was messy or if the hikers were looking. She was finally present. Kiki walked back to the city that evening. She was still the same beautiful girl, but she was no longer a shadow. She carried her peace like a full pot of water, her eyes fixed firmly on her own beautiful path. If this story touched your heart, please give it a like and share it with someone who needs to hear this lesson today. Remember, your life is too precious to be lived for the approval of others. Subscribe to our channel for more stories that feed the soul. Stay well, stay authentic, and stay peaceful.